What if chasing youth meant destroying the very face that made you famous? In the glittering world of Hollywood, where beauty sells and perfection is currency, some stars took the quest too far, turning once-admired faces into haunting reminders of what obsession can do. From singers who changed beyond recognition to actors whose fame vanished along with their features, these are the stories of transformations gone wrong and the heavy price of vanity. Stay tuned as we uncover the most shocking celebrity surgery fails, the irreversible mistakes, and the hidden pain behind the scalpel's promise. Donatella Versace was once celebrated as the epitome of Italian glamour. Her beauty mirrored the sleek sophistication of her fashion empire. But by the late 1990s, her face had begun to change, and so did the whispers surrounding her transformation. Her cosmetic journey reportedly began in the early 1990s, but it accelerated after the devastating murder of her brother, Gianni Versace, in 1997. Friends said she became obsessed with maintaining the brand's dazzling image. Over the years, experts estimate she's undergone at least a dozen procedures, including Botox, collagen injections, cheek fillers, lip augmentation, and laser resurfacing. By the early 2000s, her face was almost unrecognizable. The natural softness that once framed her sharp Italian features gave way to a taut, waxy appearance. Her lips grew dramatically fuller, her skin lost elasticity, and her complexion took on a plastic sheen. Surgeons who have analyzed her transformation suggest that excessive Botox and repeated chemical peels left her unable to express emotions naturally. Still, Donatella insists she's not ashamed of her look. She has openly said that she doesn't believe in natural beauty, embracing the power of self-reinvention. But to many, her transformation became one of fashion's most haunting ironies. A woman who defined beauty standards yet became their greatest casualty. And while Donatella's story shocked the fashion world, the next one takes us to Los Angeles, where a young starlet's dream of perfection nearly cost her everything. Heidi Montags. Fame skyrocketed in the mid-2000s with MTV's The Hills, where her sunny blonde hair and fresh California glow made her the face of reality TV. But beneath the fame, Heidi's confidence was crumbling. She confessed to struggling with severe body image issues and the pressure to compete with Hollywood's elite. In January 2010, at just 23, Heidi underwent a shocking 10 plastic surgery procedures in a single day, including a brow lift, chin reduction, liposuction, breast enlargement, and even buttock augmentation. The marathon operation nearly killed her. She later revealed she stopped breathing during recovery and required months to heal. When she stepped out with her new face, fans were stunned. Her natural charm had vanished, replaced by a stiff, doll-like appearance. Critics accused her of destroying her youth in pursuit of artificial perfection. In later interviews, Heidi admitted she deeply regretted it, saying she felt like Frankenstein and had no idea how dangerous the surgeries would be. Over time, she reversed some procedures and publicly spoke against cosmetic obsession. But the damage, both emotional and physical, lingered. Her story became a modern Hollywood tragedy. A young woman who thought beauty could buy happiness, only to find herself trapped in a body she no longer recognized. And while Heidi's ordeal was a cautionary tale, the next celebrity's transformation would go far beyond regret, into the realm of obsession itself. Michael Jackson, the undisputed king of pop, reshaped music, dance, and global culture, but he also reshaped his own face, becoming the most analyzed example of celebrity plastic surgery in history. His transformation began after a dance accident in 1979, when he broke his nose during rehearsals. The corrective surgery that followed left him unable to breathe properly, leading to a second procedure, a decision that marked the start of a lifelong obsession with surgical change. Though Jackson insisted he'd only had 2 nose jobs and that his changing skin tone came from vitiligo, multiple surgeons later claimed he underwent far more. Dr. Wallace Goodstein, who once worked with his physician, alleged the star had 10 to 12 surgeries in just 2 years, including repeated rhinoplasties, cheekbone reshaping, chin implants, eyelid lifts, and possible lip alterations. Photographs across the decades revealed his face narrowing, his nose collapsing, and his skin appearing increasingly fragile. By the late 1990s, his reflection seemed carved rather than born. Medical experts warned that his nasal tissue was nearly gone, leaving him dependent on reconstructive fillers and breathing aids. Behind the sequins and spotlight, Jackson's quest for perfection turned into a cycle of insecurity and pain, a haunting image of genius undone by self-doubt. His story leaves a sobering question hanging in the air. How can someone adored by millions still feel unworthy in their own skin? But while Michael's changes were gradual, the next celebrity's transformation was shockingly deliberate. An attempt to sculpt herself into something wild, feline, and forever unnatural. Jessica Alves, formerly known as Rodrigo Alves before her transition, is a television personality famous for her extreme transformations and frequent surgeries. Her motivation stemmed from lifelong dissatisfaction with her appearance and gender dysphoria. In her early adult years, she sought validation through cosmetic change, trying to sculpt her identity outwardly to match how she felt inside. Alves has openly said that she struggled with social acceptance, and surgery seemed a powerful solution. Over the years, Alves has reportedly had dozens of procedures, including multiple rhinoplasties, which she later claimed caused loss of smell, cheek and jaw fillers, breast augmentations, arm gel injections, lip enhancements, and hairline lowering. In Brazil, she underwent gel injections into her arms to simulate muscle, but this backfired, causing loss of function temporarily. On Botched, Season 4, she sought correction for her nasal damage. Surgeons refused further rhinoplasty because her nasal passages were severely scarred and at risk of necrosis. The consequences have been severe. Repeated operations and filler complications left Alves with tissue damage, skin thinning, and irreversible scarring. She's faced medical warnings that further change could lead to necrosis, death of tissue. The mental toll has also been large. Alves has admitted to body dysmorphic disorder and the psychological exhaustion of chasing an ever-changing face. Her story forces us to reflect, when your identity rests on a scalpel, where do you draw the line? And while Alves' transformations were radical, the next celebrity's case blurred the line between cosmetic excess and medical disaster. Raji Naranasinghe, known as the Cement Face Woman, became tragically infamous after a disastrous filler operation left her face encased in hardened cement-like substance. Her drive toward beauty was simple but vulnerable. She trusted an unlicensed practitioner, hoping a filler could restore youth or smoothness. Rather than glamorous reinvention, her choices stemmed from desperation and misinformation, a cautionary tale of blind faith in cosmetic promise. In the mid-20-teens, Raji had fillers injected into her face and body by a fake doctor. Over time, the substance hardened, migrating and causing swelling, pain, and distortion. She developed what seemed like concrete under her skin, especially around her cheeks and jaw. Some reports say that for up to 11 years, she lived with the hardened material embedded in her flesh, unable to remove it. Her turning point came when she appeared on the reality show Botched in 2016. Expert surgeons removed much of the material, but warned that much remained impossible to extract without risking severe damage. Raji endured multiple corrective operations, nerve pain, skin loss, and permanent disfigurement. She also faced emotional trauma, shame, and isolation from the public gaze. Her experience is a grim reminder that not all beauty is benign. One wrong decision can birth a nightmare. And while Raji's transformation was the result of reckless trust, the next celebrity went under the knife so many times they ceased to resemble themselves. Her case is perhaps the most extreme cosmetic collapse. Sahar Tabar, whose real name is Fatime Kishvand, became one of the most haunting internet sensations of the 2010s. A young woman who turned herself into a viral nightmare in the name of fame. Growing up in Tehran, she was fascinated by Western celebrities, particularly Angelina Jolie, whose beauty and fame symbolized everything she longed for but couldn't express freely. In a society that restricted individuality, Sahar turned to the digital world for self-expression, a world where shock could equal success. Between 2016 and 2017, she underwent several minor procedures, including lip fillers, cheek reshaping, and a small nose job. But her real transformation came from heavy photo editing, prosthetics, and makeup illusions that gave her skeletal cheeks, ghostly skin, and hauntingly sunken eyes. Online, she became known as the Zombie Angelina Jolie, amassing over 400,000 followers before the controversy caught up with her. In 2019, Iranian authorities arrested her for promoting public immorality and blasphemy. She was sentenced to 10 years in prison, though later reports confirmed she served around 14 months before being released in 2021. The fame that once made her untouchable became the reason for her downfall. Sahar's story exposes the darker side of digital validation, how social media can turn insecurity into performance and performance into punishment. But while Sahar's transformation blurred fantasy and reality, the next celebrity's changes came from a far more powerful place: a lifelong obsession with the spotlight itself. Lil' Kim, the Grammy-winning rapper who shattered hip-hop's glass ceiling in the 1990s, was once celebrated for her bold confidence and unapologetic beauty. But behind the bravado, she faced years of criticism about her looks, and it eventually drove her to a transformation that shocked her fans. Her insecurity, she later revealed, stemmed from an abusive relationship in her early career. "He told me I wasn't good enough," she once said in an interview. "I started believing it." By the mid-2000s, Kim had begun experimenting with skin-lightening treatments, multiple nose jobs, lip fillers, and cheek implants. Surgeons believe she has undergone at least 5 major facial procedures between 2005 and 2014. The results were dramatic. Her once round face became sharply contoured, her skin several shades lighter, and her nose almost unrecognizable from her earlier photos. Fans accused her of erasing her natural beauty, while tabloids called her one of hip-hop's most tragic transformations. Kim denied some rumors, but admitted to several cosmetic surgeries after a broken nose in 2005 required reconstruction. The backlash was intense, but Kim remained defiant. She insisted she was reclaiming control over her body and identity, not losing it. Still, her evolution became a mirror of how fame, colorism, and public scrutiny can twist self-image beyond recognition. Her journey asks a painful question: what happens when society forces a woman to rebuild herself to be accepted? And while Lil' Kim's story reveals how fame distorts identity, the next transformation would take that distortion to an entirely new level, one that defied even human boundaries. Joan Rivers was more than a comedian. She was a force of nature. Known for her razor-sharp wit and fearless humor, she broke barriers for women in comedy from the 1960s onward. But beneath the laughter lay an obsession with beauty that would become both her armor and her undoing. Her journey with plastic surgery began in her early 30s, long before Hollywood normalized it. In countless interviews, Joan admitted she was addicted to the feeling of reinvention. Decades of public scrutiny about her appearance, especially in a male-dominated industry, left her convinced she had to stay youthful to stay relevant. "I wish I had a twin so I could see what I'd look like without plastic surgery," she once joked, masking truth with humor. By the time of her death in 2014, Joan was reported to have undergone more than 300 cosmetic procedures, including multiple facelifts, neck lifts, eye surgeries, liposuction, Botox, and breast augmentations. Her face became famously tight and immobile, a punchline she turned into part of her act. Yet behind the jokes, she confessed to deep insecurities about aging and fading fame. Tragically, it was a routine throat procedure that ended her life. Complications from anesthesia during surgery in New York left her brain dead. Her passing sparked conversations about the dangerous normalization of cosmetic enhancement, especially for older women in the public eye. Joan's story remains a chilling testament. Even those who make the world laugh aren't immune to the silent pressure to look perfect. Jocelyn Wildenstein. The New York socialite dubbed the Catwoman is perhaps the most infamous example of beauty gone too far. Once known for her glamorous lifestyle and marriage to billionaire art dealer Alec Wildenstein, she became a symbol of excess, both in wealth and in transformation. Her fascination with surgery reportedly began in the late 1970s, during her turbulent marriage. Friends claim she started altering her face to please her husband, who loved wildcats. Over the years, Jocelyn sought to give herself feline-like features, higher cheekbones, almond eyes, and a sharper jawline. But as her marriage collapsed in 1999 amid public scandal, her transformation only deepened. Some estimates suggest she spent over $4 million on surgeries, including multiple facelifts, brow lifts, lip augmentations, and eye reshaping procedures. Her face soon became unrecognizable, stretched, swollen, and unnaturally smooth. The media turned her into a spectacle, branding her the Bride of Wildenstein. Yet Jocelyn has always denied addiction to surgery, insisting she feels beautiful and that her look is simply more refined. She remains defiant even after financial collapse, bankruptcy filings, and years of public ridicule. But behind the headlines lies something deeply human. The tragedy of someone who reshaped herself to match an illusion of love, only to lose both. Her story forces us to confront a haunting truth, that in chasing the extraordinary, we can destroy what made us unique in the first place. Tara Reid, film and television actress known for roles in American Pie and Sharknado, was once celebrated for her girl-next-door beauty. But over the years, her appearance has become model case fodder for what goes wrong when cosmetic enhancements are repeated without restraint. Her motivation seems to stem from both public pressures and her past struggles with self-image. In the early 2000s, media attention on her weight, youth, and red carpet ready looks pushed her to make repeated changes, some publicly admitted, others rumored. Reid once said in interviews that she wished she could go back to her appearance in her 20s, admitting regret over certain cosmetic choices. By 2004, Tara Reid had undergone breast augmentation, and in later years, she reportedly used lip fillers, Botox, and minor facial plastic surgery aimed at refreshing her face. In the late 2000s and early 2015, friends and photographers observed her cheeks increasingly swollen, her jawline less defined, skin tightened unnaturally, and eyes looking pulled. While exact surgery counts are unclear, estimates suggest she's had more than 5 major facial enhancements over the past 15 years, plus frequent smaller injections and procedural touch-ups. The consequences included some scar tissue buildup, asymmetry in facial features, and repeated public commentary and criticism. Reid herself has expressed embarrassment and the feeling that she lost touch with who she was before all the work. The emotional toll has clearly been high. Anxiety, a retreat from many events, and being photographed with unusual expressions due to tightness in facial skin. Tara's story forces us to ask, when do we stop enhancing and start masking ourselves entirely? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos. See you in the next one.